Hello everybody, today we're building the tallest waterfall on planet Earth, Angel Falls in Venezuela, or locally known as Karapakupai Meru. If you didn't see my last video, I encourage you not to watch it, because, well, it fucking sucked. So I'm going to be making up for it today with this video, my friends. Now, last video we built my grandma's house, yes indeed, and well, we're gonna be building that mountain right behind it. And she's not from Venezuela, or, you know, obviously Angel Falls is not in her backyard, but if you guys have a grandma, you guys know you want her to have the best view. So sit back and enjoy the process of me paying homage to one of nature's greatest monuments. So we're here in Diamond City, which is the city I've been working on just in my free time for, you know, coming up on 2 years now, really. So it's been off and on, but you can kind of see the general vibe I think I got going on, you know. So yeah, there used to be a big ass mountain right here that we tore down because we got plans. We want to expand the city, and it's going to be a project that's going to be ongoing, and I'll be spending a lot of time here, for sure. So yeah, this building over here is like kind of inspired by B00. If you guys seen that one industrial building he kind of has on his world, that's that basically. And you know, just experimenting over here for the most part. And these are kind of just like Red Dead inspired, like straight from Red Dead basically. So yeah, our building for now is going to be taking place a ways from here, in a more nature oriented zone, you could say. That's what I'm kind of feeling like doing these days. So we got a lot of blocks to gather, you know, mountainy blocks, tough, smooth basalt, deep slate, you know, the works. So, and yeah, probably more. So we got a few farms to build and a lot of mining to do, but I won't bore you with all of that, and we'll just cut to a bit of a montage. Alright guys, I want to treat this as my first real video, and while I'm procrastinating building this mountain, let's just have a little talk for a bit, and I'll show you what I'm about, let you into my life a little bit, and maybe you can learn a thing or two, with an open mind. I am a young man, I'm just a young boy indeed, and I dropped out of college after 2 years. The reason why, in short, is I realized the path I was on was, for me, it was a dead end. I looked at where I would end up, and I saw myself working a music career, struggling to pay bills, and not having enough money to raise a family and live the life I want. I realized this ain't gonna work for me, so I took a leap of faith for a chance to build something bigger. And so that's where I'm at. In order to build something bigger, I'm gonna have to take advantage of the opportunities in front of me and in our society. We live in a new age, the dawn of something new and untapped and unadopted by most. Well, what am I talking about? Well, this the internet, the web, sharing anything. What you're watching right now, this is the future. Not just YouTube, but the ability to share your creation to the masses, to share your creation with anyone. This is what makes the digital world a lucrative model, a system that I believe anyone can follow. The world seems to be getting mad, and I believe we're on the cusp of a new one and a better one. And it starts by embracing the future and fighting for the betterment of humanity. We live in an age where the people educating our children are literally living paycheck to paycheck and having to pay for supplies out of their own pocket, while people are posting AR videos of their cats fucking making millions. The game has changed, and I'm trying to adapt. So while I attempt to run my own online e-commerce store, I will also be documenting things here, like my art and hopefully my future homestead. I'm hoping to inspire you all to achieve your greatest creative potential, as that's the process I've submerged myself into now. We know this YouTube path works. We've seen the big stars and creators go from nothing and make it, conquering the platform and making millions, and now they have the freedom to do whatever they want just by making little YouTube videos. So I'm going to put my heart and soul into this because I genuinely care about this, and I like making builds and I like making videos, and I know results will be a byproduct. I still consider myself a beginner at the craft, and I know I have so much to learn, so that's why I'm documenting my journey at the moment, and hopefully I'll inspire a couple others to do the same. After you watch this video, or just today or even tomorrow, just do something creative. Just do it. Doesn't matter what it is. Humans are meant to be creative, and truly, the smartest people I know are the most creative. Use what the universe gave you, your mind, your thoughts, the ability to transform your thoughts into something tangible. So whether you play the guitar and you've been thinking about writing a song, just pick up the guitar and fuck around for an hour. That's how I write songs. If you've been wanting to cook that recipe you saw online, just take a look at it, use that as a guide, and use your intuition, and salt. Or if you want to build a mountain and post it online, do it. Stop letting small things get in the way of you achieving what you want and being creative. You can taste your food as you cook it, analyze what you're building as you build it, and sing what you're playing on the guitar and think if that's what you're really hearing. Reflect on what you're doing in that present moment, and when you're fully in that moment of creative flow, the end results, they don't matter to us, but usually that's when they turn out best. As Bob Ross says, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. So if there's one thing you can take away from this video, it's don't be afraid to be a little more creative in your day-to-day life. Stop making life so monotonous. It doesn't have to be. Do what you want and you will be happy. Okay, rant over. Okay, now if you had a keen eye, you can probably see. Yep, we already finished that mountain. Alright, well, I want to give you guys some history about this place because, just in researching for this video and wanting to build it, I actually learned a lot of really, really cool information, and I think you guys can get some value out of this because it's interesting and there's some cool stories. So, first things first, the name, right? Angel Falls. Well, not really. It's complicated. Angel Falls is the name that most of the world knows it by because of a man named Jimmy Angel, an American-born pilot who flew over the falls and documented them and shared them with the rest of the world. But before them, there was the Pemon. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's spelled like lemon with a P. An indigenous people who have been residing in southeastern Venezuela for around 600 years. They named it first and called it Karapakupai Meru, meaning to leap from the deepest place because of the way it leaps or jumps off the cliff. Now, the whole naming thing gets political, so we'll get back to that in a bit. First of all, the Pemon. The Pemon people are a Carib-descended indigenous group who've been living in the Gran Sabana region of southeastern Venezuela. That's here, by the way. Carib-descended is just descended from the Caribbean. It's different from the Caribbean, but now, to the Pemon, these tepuis, as they are called, these giant tabletop mountains that Angel Falls leaps from, they call them the houses of the gods. Yeah, in fact, that's what tepui translates to. They were serious about this. These houses of gods were off limits to people. Nobody is allowed up there. The summits belong to the ancestor spirits. They call them Mawari. Specifically for Angel Falls, the mountain it resides in is Ion Tepui, which the Pemon called Devil's Mountain. Yeah, Devil's Mountain. They believed an evil spirit lived on the summit and hurled the water off the edge in rage. Yeah. So you've got a place that's sacred, forbidden, and inhabited by a wrathful demonic spirit of hell. And then some gung-ho American aviator comes in doing loops looking for gold and crashes his plane on the mountain. Yeah, we'll get there. But here's the thing that actually surprised me about the Pemon today. A lot of them work as the river guides and take tourists to Angel Falls. One of the very few cases where indigenous people actually retain meaningful economic control over their own sacred land. Okay, now for some geology. History, baby. Yeah. If the backstory of the tribes and people wasn't cool enough, just wait to hear this. These mountains, the Tepui, sit on something called the Guyana Shield. The Guyana Shield is 1.7 billion years old. Billion. Yeah. To put that in perspective, the dinosaurs were extinct 66 million years ago. These rocks are 25 times older than the dinosaurs. The Alps, the Swiss Alps, are 34 million years old. The Himalayas, Everest, 50 million. The Guyana Shield is 1.7 billion years old. That is hard to comprehend. That makes me think, if the tallest current mountain is only 50 million years old, who knows how big they could have been? And we know that over millions and a billion years, these are just what's left. Erosion has done its job, and now all that remains is, well, still the tallest waterfall. But who knows how big it was once upon a time. So, because of erosion and how these summits have been isolated for so long, there are actually species that only exist on top of these mountains. Yeah. In fact, 42% of plant life on these tepuis are found nowhere else on Earth. That's nuts. Arthur Conan Doyle, you guys may have heard of him. He's the guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes, yeah. He also wrote a novel in 1912 called The Lost World. In short, explorers find a plateau in South America that, because of its isolation, there were prehistoric creatures like dinosaurs living up there. Sounds like a pretty cool concept that is actually based in truth and somewhat believable. Who knows, maybe the CIA has dinosaurs in Area 51 and we have no idea. Alright, now the waterfall. This bad boy is 979 meters tall. Yeah, that is a lot. This build is a 1/7 scale, and it still feels fucking enormous. And it fucking felt like that building it. Jesus. Sorry. It has an 807 meter free fall, the tallest in the world. Niagara Falls is 57 meters. And I've been there. Here's a video from the summer. These are tall. Very tall. You can only imagine 19 times taller than this. That is nuts. It is as tall as 3 Empire State Buildings stacked up on each other. Yeah, nuts. Everything about this waterfall, its scale, its history, it truly is nuts. It's unbelievable. Just one more crazy fact for you. when it gets in the dry season, there is very little water, and because of the height, the water simply doesn't hit the ground. It evaporates before it has the chance to hit the ground. That's insane. It just turns into this cloud, this misty cloud. It's seriously cool. Alright, back to Jimmy Angel. I know I've been talking a lot, but seriously, I just got lost in researching this, and there's so many cool things to not share. Alright, so here we go with this guy. It's a doozy, alright? Born 1899, Cedar Valley, Missouri. Jimmy Angel claims he taught himself to fly at age 14. By the 1920s, he's in the flying circus, wing walking and doing stunt flights for movies. How does he end up getting the world's tallest waterfall named after him? Well, here's the story. He says in 1921 he was at a bar in Panama, and a man named McCracken, a mining geologist, offered him $5,000 to fly him to a secret location deep in the Venezuelan jungle. So Angel flies him there, and McCracken, walks to a river on top of a tepui, and he comes back with a bag filled with 75 pounds of gold nuggets. Then this McCracken guy, he dies, and he takes the location of it with him to his grave. And so Jimmy Angel spends the rest of his life trying to find that gold again, that river of gold. So, that's when he's flying over Venezuela in 1933 looking for gold, and while searching he spots what he calls a mile-high waterfall. Coming from the cliff in the jungle, he tells people. They don't believe him, so he goes back in 1937, 4 years later. His wife and 2 companions. He decides he's going to land on the summit of Iron Tepui, what the Pemon call the Devil's Mountain, the place they said an evil spirit lived. The first ever airplane landing on a tepui. Wheels hit the ground and immediately sink to the boggy soil. The plane pitches nose first, and bam, it's totaled. And Jimmy and his 3 companions, they're stranded on a 700 square kilometer mesa in the Venezuelan jungle with limited food and water. They had to trek 11 days in the jungle to reach a Pemon village. And they made it. They made it out alive. His plane, he named it El Rio Caromi, sat on that mountain for 33 years before Venezuela organized an airlift to get it down. They declared it a national monument, and per his dying wish, his ashes were scattered over the falls. Now the name debate. Side 1, of course, is to call it what the tribe called it, Karapakupai Meru. Those are the people who lived there for centuries. The name had meaning and history and spiritual weight. Naming it after a foreign pilot who showed up looking for gold is colonial framing, and it's exactly what the Americans did to Native Americans. He didn't discover it. The Pemon knew exactly where it was. All he did was make it famous to the outside world. Discovering something and being the first outsider to document it are not the same thing. And the other side is that the Venezuelan government officially named it Angel Falls in 1939. He documented it, photographed it, hell, he fucking crash landed on top of it. Without him, the outside world wouldn't know about it for a long time. Somebody had to share it. In 2009, Hugo Chavez, the Venezuelan president at the time, announced he was renaming it Karapakupai Meru. Quote, "This is ours long before any angel ever arrived." In the live speech, he actually called it the wrong name, and his daughter handed him a note during the speech telling him, and the correction happened live, everybody saw. The rename never officially took internationally. So, historically and culturally, the name should be what it was called. But the government named it, and it's been Angel Falls on maps for 80 years, and the original name was never adopted. All I can do is tell you what it's actually called, and put it out there, but I will still probably be calling it Angel Falls. Sorry, not sorry. Now, if you've been thinking this whole video, these falls look a little familiar, well, it's probably that they inspired Paradise Falls from the Pixar movie Up. Yeah, it's the main waterfall that Carl is trying to get his house to. They are directly modeled on Ion Tepui and Angel Falls. The director Pete Docter and 11 Pixar artists flew to Kanaima National Park, which is where Angel Falls is, for researching the movie. They visited the Tepuis, painted and sketched, and Docter said reality was too far out to put directly in the movie. The real place was so extreme they had to tone it down to make it feel believable in the animation. So you know what? My rendition of it ain't perfect, but neither was Pixar, so that's a win for me, baby. So what do you guys think? Should I build Carl's house up top? So anyway, 1.7 billion years of Earth working full time, 600 years of Pemon history, and one American aviator looking for gold who crashed right into the fucking thing. And now I've built it in this block game, baby. Now let me show you how I use JAXA satellite data. Before I get into anything super specific, I'm just going to tell you where I learned to do this. It's this guy, Nice Name. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but his video, Real Mountains in Minecraft. I'll link it below, but he goes super in depth and everything you could possibly know about the process. Yeah, and he's very informative. But in short, you get this height map from JAXA, which is, the Japanese satellite something or rather. You export it into a certain software. I think QGIS was what it was called. And so you do a bunch of stuff, and it makes it compatible for World Painter, which World Painter is basically a Minecraft map making software. And you're just able to import that height map of whatever satellite data you got from any mountain, any elevation, and you can put it right into Minecraft. And so this is what Angel Falls look like just when I imported it, and the kind of surrounding mountains here. I tried to texture it with World Painter, but it came out with this really ugly blobby thing. So you can see like the difference here with my hand texturing on this part, and then like the fucking World Painter just blob throw up puke painter whatever. But yeah, I really spent a long time just fiddling, man. I didn't really know what to do. I was trying to get these. It has so many different colors when you look at it in real life, and it's very hard to portray that in Minecraft. And it was basically impossible for World Painter to just do it all right. Like, you basically have to go in and by hand and hand paint, these brighter parts and these darker parts. And yeah, it was really a whole process, but I think eventually I got there, and I'm pretty happy with it. And I think I'm going to be building more of this mountain range, just because, man, look at these mountains. They look so, so cool. And I really think the more I texture, the better I'll get, and then eventually they'll just be really good. So, I hope. So yeah, make sure you guys watch that video. Nice Name. Very informative, and yeah, hopefully I'll be in my next video kind of adding up down at the bottom of the mountain, adding some trees and foliage, and hopefully tying the whole area together a little bit more. So yeah, if you guys like this video, I put a lot more effort into the post processing part, and just let me know what you guys think in the comments, maybe, and stay on the lookout for my next one. So stay smart out there, folks. All right, I'll see you guys around.